So as a fighter, as an individual athlete, right, in an individual sport, um, it's um, it's not like you're on a salary either, and it's not like the fight checks are gonna come forever. And a lot of fighters just end up in this situation. A lot of these athletes end up in a situation when it's like too late because it's a very young sport. You can't go on forever. Where they just haven't thought about their future, and then they realize near the end, like, oh shit, I don't have an idea what I'm gonna do afterwards. So, how do you navigate that from now, from such a young age, and what are you doing towards securing a future for yourself after fighting?
I think since I kind of chose fighting instead of study, then I kind of like always from the get go knew in the back of my mind that I had to keep the idea of constantly sort of evolving and adding to my resume at the same time as fighting. I couldn't just like sort of put all my eggs in one basket. Not that I didn't believe in myself, but of course, in a sport like this, you can get injured or
Yeah.
um, it happened COVID, like all sorts of things. So therefore, I was always just sort of conscious of just adding, I guess, skills to my resume at the same time as evolving as an athlete and trying to progress through my career.
Mhm.
And therefore, I think I've just sort of like added little things on, like when I did the Bose thing, that put my foot in the door for a lot more production kind of work and
Mm.
maybe even doing movies and obviously just more general screen things, just because that's not a big amount of, I guess, time that you have to devote to it for a good reward. So therefore, it can kind of complement my current career and training full time and everything like that. So I can kind of keep being a fighter while still doing these little things in between, which is something, yeah, that especially in the last year has been really beneficial to be able to sort of add it on and get my foot in the door now, so that maybe, yeah, if I have to retire early for whatever reason, touch wood, that doesn't happen, but I kind of have this other pathway that I can venture off into.
But even not if you retire early, it's just like in general, I
Yeah.
think you just need to think about that. How did the most thing happen? Like, how did you? Because you're saying it like it just happened, but I'm pretty sure um, some at least some sort of planning went into it. Like I know a lot of things just come to you. A lot of things just happen sometimes. But
Yeah.
you put yourself in that position though, like whether it's planned or sort of planned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It was like yeah, one of those things that did kind of curveball out of nowhere, but at the same time I sort of just saw, I think it was advertised or it was going around that there was a position available for a headphone company. I didn't know who it was, and you just had to self tape, send it in, and you would get possibly shortlisted or casted, and that's what happened. I just sent in a self tape, kind of not really thinking that much of it, to be honest, just sort of doing it just to, I guess,
Mm.
make sure I didn't regret not doing it, and it's better than obviously ignoring it. And then yeah, I got shortlisted um to, like, I think the last four people, and then they pushed for me and I got the spot, which was really cool. And then after the first, I was really only hired for two campaigns, and after finishing those two, they looked into who I was and wanted to do the last one,
Mm.
which was obviously more about me, like a little short film kind of about me and my relation to the product and I guess music in general, which was really cool because then it sort of strengthen my relationship with them, and I got to get a good amount of experience doing that kind of thing properly, like having call times and scenes and getting used to like hair and makeup a little bit more and all
Oh,
those. I've dabbled but not really done to that extent, which was really cool.
yeah. See, like you gather just different kinds of life experience or like work experience in all these different fields. Like you have to look at it that way because there's a lot of people that might think, okay, I'm just gonna get in there and do the scene and leave, or and whatever like whatever side thing they're doing, but you're actually trying to analyze and learn those things. It's like I related to like so I have a production company, so we do video productions and such. And by the way, if you're ever in Amsterdam, like free of charge, you can just you have a camera crew. So but so I started as like with no experience. Like I had as a hobby, and I did it in university and all that. But at some point, someone said like, "Yeah, we need a producer. Do you know how to do it?" I'm like, I guess I can figure it out, right? And from there, it's like setting up production and being organized. to hiring crew, hiring the sound person and stuff. What I loved about being a producer is eventually through many productions you just have enough time. Like most of the work goes in beforehand and afterwards. So during, just really learning from those brilliant people around, like the cameraman and the sound man and the director, and see how they do things. And um, it's like picking up things here and there. And I recently like had like two full on productions by myself, where I also did the videography and the editing, for example. So it's those are skills that, but only now I'm realizing, okay, I got them. And but before I was maybe less comfortable with it, admitting it, because I hadn't had the education for it. You know what I mean? And what a lot of fighters for me have, and I think, who said it? Someone said it on a podcast recently. I just thought that was brilliant. Um, they a lot of them say, "Oh, but I don't have a degree, or I don't have the business acumen to start a brand or to manage athletes or whatever." But no, you do though, because it's just your career and what you've gone through on that business, and that's something that maybe the smallest amount of people in the world have. And what you've learned on that journey is just very valuable. You will have a PhD, actually. You have in field experience with it. How do you see that?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like with not only like the generation that's coming through now, but I guess the pandemic really showed that you don't always need education or tickets or PhDs to yeah, become successful, become an entrepreneur of any variety. And I
Yeah.
think it just opened up new avenues, especially now that we connect a little bit more into over technology. You can really kind of use that to your advantage and sort of work off it and find your little niche that you like. If as long as you're passionate about it, generally you can make
Mm.
money. And therefore I think like a lot of people are realizing that everything that you do, you should really take like, if you become, I guess, like if you've done this for so long, if you've been in this game and you've networked and you've met a lot of people, maybe benefit off that network and become a manager, or like there's all different
Hmm.
avenues that you can do that don't necessarily always mean you have to, yeah, go to university for 2 3 years. Your university may be a little bit different, and I guess for us, like ours is going to the gym. So for other people,
Yeah.
recognizing more, they can do different things.